Hi guys, welcome back. My name is Paul Kroon and I'm a Power Platform Specialist at Macau in the Netherlands. And in this video I will be your host on building a Power App. And the Power App we're gonna build is based on a date calendar solution. And I didn't come up with it myself, but Shane Young already did some videos on this topic. Only when watching the videos of Shane Young, and I always like to watch his videos because I learn a lot, I thought, okay, in this case I would approach it from a different way, right? And also I thought, okay, some things you're doing, Shane, will basically call the data source a lot of time or have a lot of recalculations, which is not the best way to approach these kind of things. So I was thinking. So I thought, let's take my computer, let's figure out my way of working, if it really works, and then I had it and I thought, let's share it with you. So let's go to the video. Now, first, the video of Shane Young. This is this video, building your own gallery. He made three, one for the month, one for the week, and one for the data source. And probably I will take two videos to show you first all the navigation parts and then show a formula on the gallery. And what we will do is just basically create one variable which will load everything and which will organize everything, and then on the gallery we will use the concept of a gallery table. And the gallery table or the date table you would have when you work with Power BI a lot. You normally would have a calendar or date table to be able to dice and slice. So that concept we're gonna introduce inside of this Power App in the second video, and it's gonna be nice. So let's go to the Power App. Let's first take my head away so we have some more room, and let's first go to the solution which is ready, and we don't have it open, so let's open that solution which I already built. So I load the application, and then when we come up the screen we have all the information and the gallery, right? So on this button I have a variable which I create and just a formula on our gallery. And what we can do, we can go to weeks or week work days or month work days. We can start on Sunday or Monday if we like, because Germany starts on Monday. You see this is all changing. We can show the weeks or hide the weeks. We can just click to Augustus 2020 and then reset to today, or we can go down in our months or go up. And if we have the weeks, you see we have just a label, and there should be just the week of this week and maybe the first and the last day, something like that. I ain't gonna do navigation here, but you see that the month navigation is gone. So basically this is what we're going to build in 2 days. And again, this is just having a click for one variable, and then all the rest is connected to that variable, even the gallery. So let's start here. So here I have deleted everything. So we have some combo boxes and some icons, and of course this settings control. And let's start there. So we go here, and here we like to create a variable. Let's make this a little bit better. And let's say we have a set, and let's call this calendar settings. Let's call a variable like that. And the nice thing now, the tab is is made by Microsoft. So I'm very happy that my navigation is and my tapping is very easy to do now. So thanks for the team for that. It's very nice to work now in this editor. Let's see my, yeah, okay, let's go on. So first what we need here is probably something like years, right? So we have a table here, probably a table, and let's just write it out what we are gonna enter here. So let's take months, multiple months we gonna have here, and of course this is gonna be 12 months in a year. Then probably we want to have a calendar views, also multiple. This will be a table also, table. And these we're gonna use on our combo boxes and also to get our default settings from. So let's say we want to have a first day of week, and let's put it for now to Sunday, but we want to have a formula to change this from Monday and to Sunday back again if you like. Week number enable, and we like to set it to true, but also have something to toggle this right later on. So then probably we would have a particular year selected, we would have a month selected, and this is gonna be records, and we're gonna have a date, and this just gonna be today by default, and this is for the week, right? The week is easy because we just need one date, and then we can calculate the start date and the end date from that. Now, okay, now let's go a little bit further, because when you look at this, we have the years and the months and the calendar views, and of course we want to have formulas here to calculate a table of years and a table of months. But then this year should of course be in the same schema of those years. Now, to do this, we of course don't want to basically click 2 times the same thing, and later on we want to change this. So to do this, we will use another formula, and this is a scope formula. And what does scope mean? Scope means that when we have the width formula, and at the end of the round bracket, so between the round brackets, is basically the scope. And at the end of the scope, something will be returned. And in this case, let's do it like this, right? So we will return something to our variable. And that something what we will return is of type record. But in here, inside of the width formula, inside of the scope, we can basically create variables, just as update context does, just as a collection does, or just as the set formula does. Only these variables are only available during the width and the scope of the width. So after the width is finished, all those variables we put in here are just basically deleted from our system, so they don't take memory. So what we can do is basically copy this, put this here, and then say we have the table, and just pass this table to the variable, right? So here we set the variable, and we just say, okay, this variable, take this and put this in the calendar views property of our calendar settings variable. So let's first start with the years. So what we want to do is the for all function. Then we take a sequence here, and that sequence should be a sequence, and then let's first return the sequence value. Now what we want to do here, first we want to take the year of today, and that year of today is 2021, right? And let's take the year of last year off there. And when you have your application or your SharePoint site started in 2018, you will do 2018 and 2016 and so on. But let's say we want to go 1 year back. And if we start really in 2001, we can just pick 2001. But let's do it like this. So 2001. Now, if we then look at this variable, and we can do so by selecting this whole and then go to the bottom and then see, okay, there is a value of 1. Now first, I don't like, in this case, the value, but I like this to have a name. So what we will do, we will give it a name of year, and therefore we need to create a table instead of an array with a value. So if we do this, we have our column header ready, right? But still it is 1. And let's say this year should be the same as what we used here as a default year, as a starting year, plus the sequence value. but then we start at 2001. Now, of course, we can say this should be 19, and then it's okay, but I never do that because I like to have some design patterns here. And normal in 9 out of 10 program languages, when we use an index, which the sequence is, we start with 0, right? So what I do is just saying the sequence value -1, and this will return just 0 for the first for all, and then 1 for the second for all, and basically uses that standard index programming design pattern. And this makes it easier for me to read when I come back. That's the reason why I do this behavior. Then you see we have only one record, and that's because the year is 2021 minus 2000 is of course just 1 between those. So we need to think about how much should we add to get the years we want. So if we get 1, we get the both years, because we have the difference between those is 1 plus 1 is 2, so we have the 2 years. And let's say we want to go 2 years in the future, so we should add 3. Now, if we now take the for all function, you see we have the year. Let's put this a little bit higher so we can see it. We have till 2023. Now, let's say it's becoming 22, then we will have 23 and 24, which is the behavior I would like. So even when we are in 2000, let's say 2030, let's copy this, 2030, and we take this, you see that we are just having till 32. So it will adapt to the time we are using this application and the time we are living. So that's the years. Now the years we pass, and then here we can simply do a lookup inside of this years variable we put in this scope. And of course this has the same schema, so we can say the year should be the year of today, and close the lookup. And I make a typo again. So, and now we have years with a particular schema, and this will have the same schema because we look up inside of this table one record with the proper schema, right? We do the same for this one, sequence, and of course for months we know there are 12 months, for as far as I know. And then basically we can say sequence value, and if we look at this, we have those 12 months returned. Now, still we have the value, we don't want that. I want to call it just month, so it's clear what I want, and I want to add something, and that's the month name. For this we're going to use the last formula, first one, and then have the calendar dot months, calendar dot months long, and then the sequence value. And now if we look at this variable, we have the month and a record. Now of course we don't want to have a record, we want to have the value of there. And if we now select it, you see we have 1 January to February. Now let's take a peek of this formula. Now first, the calendar long days is just a list of items, 12 of course. Then we take the first, for the first loop the first one, for the second loop the first second, and from there we take the last, and therefore we take the value. So when we are in November, we have 11, the first 11 we take, because the sequence value will be 11. Then from those 11 we take the last, so we get November in a value inside of the months. Now here also we can have a lookup inside of the months. We have the month property, and it should be equal to the month of today, right? So now we have the lookup here, and great. Now, of course, here we should have a calendar view, and this should be a record also. And first we have to create those views. Now, in this case, we leave it at a table because we want to have our options here, and we like to have this in a table. So we can have an option if we like. Probably we don't need it, but I always have some option or an M for menu, which I can use to make things visible or not, right? So we like to have a name here, and the first name is the month view. Then we probably would like to have a type, and of course I could do the type 1, and then for the week the type 2, but I like to make this some more clear for me when I come back later what this is. So I'm using key value pairs here. So the value is the month, and the key is 1. This is more cosmetic, but this is for me very clear what I'm dealing with when I come back to this app in 3 or 4 months, or when somebody else has to look at this app and being clear what he has to do, right? So it's I think a nice design patterns to adjust this kind of behavior to make it clear and really easy to read for everybody. So probably we should have a default, and let's say the month is default, so let's put it to true, and basically we want to enable something. Maybe later on we like to copy all these formulas and copy this whole calendar container with everything in there, and we just want to say, okay, we don't want to provide an option for the weeks, or we don't want to provide the option for the months, and then we can just disable this. So now to make this reflect something, we have to add a filter, and then we can say enable, and because this is a boolean, this will just work, right? So it will take this table and just filter only the options we are enabling for our users. So let's copy this part. Okay, I see I forgot one thing, and the one thing is the rep counts. And why do we need to put this in? Is because we need a rep count on our gallery later on, and the rep count isn't supported for referencing. So we can say referencing the gallery itself, and then the rep count, or the parent itself and then the rep count. This is not supported by Power Apps as one of the few things on the gallery, but that's why I need to put it inside of this calendar view to be able to use it later. Of course, we only have one default, and the option should be different. Now, of course, we now have months, and of course we should have the work days in a month. Work days, and we have a week. Now, that type is type 2 of type week. The rep count is 7 again, because we have 7 days in a week, right? And here we have the week's work date. The type stays the same, it's still a week, only the rep count becomes 5. Yeah, let's see the enablement. So if we would do this and we go here, you see we only have 2 options. So you see this works, right? Just to show you how you can do this very dynamic making of the options, and being able to basically take this whole formula, put it on app on start or on the toggle in the first screen when you load, or maybe even on screen on start, and basically construct this default settings and be able to change it very easily when you need to change it for one app or the other. So we can have a lookup here, and then of course we should have the calendar views, and then the default it should be the default at first. And again, this is a boolean, so it doesn't make sense to do this because the true is true by default, and yeah, so no need to have a condition there, because this will basically mean an extra calculation, right? So you know. So now we have constructed our parameters, and when we click it, we go to view, we go to variables, and to our global variables. We will have a very nice record variable, and you see here we have the calendar views, which is a record, and we have a record here. And if we have the views, we have the multiple tables. We can just store this everything inside of this record. And we have the date, the first of the date, the year, etc. This is very powerful when you know how to construct this record variables with nested data on the fly, right? And you can use it for everything. So let's go here and let's put this formula here just in Visual Studio Code. And you see I used the calendar settings name .jsx, and JSX stands for JSON extension mark language when I'm right. And the JSX is basically a structure React uses. And React is basically the technology under Power Apps. So this is the best type of file type you could use. So what we need to do is to use the patch, because we only later on want to update one a property at a time, right? So let's do, we don't need that, this. Okay, this is our structure. Let's take this part and put this in and make it like this, right? Because we like to use this later on, but not for this moment. So let's go back to Power Apps and let's start building all those controls. So let's first switch this Sunday and Monday thing, right? So we have the first day. We want to have a simple formula if the first day. And of course we would put that from our variable first day is equal to Sunday. Then we want to return the Monday, and else we want to return the Sunday. So simple, take your variable, see what in there on this moment, make a condition whether it's Sunday or Monday. If it's Sunday, put it to Monday, and else put it to Sunday. So very easy formula. And now when we would click, we go to the calendar settings, we see that the first day of the week is 2. And when we click again, it will be becoming 1. And now you might think, okay, the first day of the week is Sunday and Monday. Why do we have 1 or 2? That's because the Sunday and the Monday is just the things we see, but it's an enum. And an enum means that everything we see as a label has basically in the backend just a number. And it's in the engine of Power Apps, and there are a lot of enums. And the days, the months long are also enums in a way, right? So you know. So that's the first part. And let's say this week we like to toggle, right? So this we can take away, and the week numbers enable. And of course this is a boolean, so we want to basically set it to the opposite, and we can use this or we can use the not formula. I like to prefer the not formula. I know a lot of you guys prefer just the question mark or the explanation mark or whatever it's called, right? So now we have this calendar settings, week number. Now let's reflect this inside of our application. So we have the calendar weeks, and the only thing we like to do is calendar settings week number enabled, and when it's enabled it's visible, and we we do Alt and click, it's not visible. So we can toggle, right? Now you see this part is already going to the side, and that's because of my formula. So here I have the X connected to the visible property of the calendar weeks, and then when it's visible it takes the width, and then the X is the parent width, which is basically the container where it's in, this container minus the self X. And of course when it's not visible the X will be 0 because this visible property will return false. That's why we can easily toggle here, which is nice. Now for the next, let's first connect all those drop downs to the tables we created. So this should be connected to the months. This should be connected to the years. And this should be connected to the calendar views. And you see when we run this, you see that the labels, the names are on this moment rightly selected. It could also be that we should change this label, which is reflected, which we could do here. Here we can pick some other if we need to. But in this moment, it's doing the right thing. Now let's set a default for everything. Now for the calendar views, we need to have the calendar settings.calendar view, and normally on the combo box this would work because a combo box wants to have the same record in the same schema. Only for the drop down box we need to apply the label, and of course this is something we need to be very aware of, because when we change this we change default also. So the combo box is a little bit more out of the box, doing the right thing, right? If we like to do so. So let's take this part and do the same for this default of the months by picking the month, and this has a property of a month name because we like the month name, and you see this changing from January to March, right? So we know this is working. Do the same with the year and you see this changing to 21. Okay, now we like to do something to change all this navigation part, right? So let's first start with the calendar view, and here take the on change part. What we want to do here is first, of course, have basically all these things changed. And let's take this also. We have an error because I like, in this case, because this is a box for the calendar view, I like this on top, but I also like to reset everything to its default when we change something. Maybe later on we want to only change when it's calendar views goes to week from months, or the other way around. But for now I just want to reset this. Now, of course this is giving an error because this years isn't in a width formula anywhere, but of course it's in our current variable. So we can just take the variable .months or years, and for the rest just leave it as is. For this lookup we can just take self selected, because the selected item from the combo box has the same schema as the calendar view, because it's based on this calendar views we created, right? And they are the calendar views, and also the calendar view is both on the same schema created. Only the one is table and the other is a record. So if we go here, basically this should work, right? Now let's say when we have a month, and let's take this calendar settings again, probably we would set this visible properties to this calendar view we have selected, .type, and when we have the month it was type See what I'm doing wrong. I think I'm doing something wrong because we have the type and then we have the key, of course. So we have the type and therein we have a key. The key of 1 was the month, right? And then for that other label, that's the label we want to show for the week. The key should be 2. So now let's see if this works. So now the label is gone. If we go to week, the label is visible. If we go to month work, these selection boxes are gone. And if we set it to other properties and we go to week and to month, it's not yet refreshed. And why is this not refreshed? Maybe because of this. Let's see if this changes things. Calendar views, calendar. Okay, let's make this a small one to be consistent, right? Probably did a typo here. And let's have the default calendar view name. It's kind of strange that it isn't working, but I think this is because I didn't change it here. Then key is 2, the key is 2. I would say this should somehow work. Okay. Calendar view, year, 2001. Yeah, this is working. I don't really understand why this isn't working on this moment, but let's try to do this. Kind of strange, right? Maybe when we reload our app, it will be reflected. So let's do that in just one moment. I would say this would change things, right? But maybe it's not triggered on this moment. But maybe when we have non change, it will. I don't know. Let's see. So let's first look at the year. And what we like to do here is just have the year and self selected. So let's take the rest away, because the only thing we need to change here is the selected item, which itself is set to. Now for the month we have to do the same. So the month, let's take the on change. So when we change this, it's going to April. I think this is it, because we never updated this calendar item, so this basically doesn't reset it, right? That's why it wasn't reflected to the combo box. Now we like to reset everything with this button. So basically we can pick this part and go here and just say take this calendar view out of the equation, and then this should work. Now you see those errors, and I do this on purpose because sometimes we do things which are basically thrashing or variable, and then Power Apps isn't able to refresh it anymore and to figure out what to do, even if we take the thing which is thrashing or variable away. So if I'm programming, a lot of times I'm just saving this application because this probably would work, close my application and open the application again. And now Power Apps will reset this schema of my variable, and then probably it will be okay. So when I'm programming very fast, basically you see me updating this all the time. Now, still having something wrong here, probably. And it's because of this error, it's capitalizing this. And now probably we would be able to figure it out. Now we have an error in our whole formula again, and maybe, oh, okay, we can just do this, and this should be a smaller one, and the same for here. And we have that capital calendar view, and because we restarted, this capital calendar view was gone from the schema, and then now we are done. So if we now reset, the reset is working fine. We can set it to a week, and then we get the label, and everything works here. So I think for now the only thing we have to do are those buttons, getting one off for the months or one on for the months, or of course for the date. So let's do that. So first, because we reset everything, we basically can do two things here. First is the dates, and let's first do the thing is going to the history, right? So of course we don't need today -1, but we take the date, the current date we have -7. For the month, we basically doing the same, the calendar settings dot month. But of course we need that schema, so here we need to have a lookup and then take the months, and then the month should be the same as our calendar settings, months dot months -1. But now we have something like a catch, because let's say this calendar month is equal to 1, then it should become 12, right? So if it's easy to 1, we want to have it 12, and else we want this current month -1. So now we have 1 month earlier and the date set to 7 days in the past. So now we have to do something similar for the year. And of course we do a lookup also, only then on the years. And then the year should be the same as, and let's do it a little bit different. So let's have this settings dot year a year, and then minus, if the calendar month is 1, we want to take 1 off, and else when it's not 1, we want to do nothing. So basically this will return null, so then the year is returned. I'll look up, let's see if this is right. It gives an error here, and I think this lookup should be like this, and then of course the calendar settings should have an underscore in front of this. I don't know for sure if this will work, but let's go to Power Apps and let's put it in, and see what I'm doing wrong. And of course the month should be small. Date works. Let's see if the month works. Month works. So we are off with this year. Those years, the year should be the same as the year, and of course we close the lookup. So we forget to close the lookup here. That was the error. So let's copy this and paste this like this. Now, here it should be the opposite, only on 12. If we go to 1, we should add 1. And here, when this is 12, then we would return 1, and else we would go 1 up, right? So from 11 we go to 12 and so on. And the date should be just adding 7 to it from the date we are at on this moment. So now we can go up, and if we go from December to January, you see this is reflecting, and the other way around is reflecting also. We can also go to July 23 and then go back again. You see 22, we can go to the date of today, we can show the weeks, we can change this Sunday, and we can go 2 weeks and just adding a week and going back again. So basically all the navigation we build now, all based on this one formula, variable, which we basically update with a simple patch formula based on what we like to do. Now, okay, I think this is enough for this video because we are working on this for 40 minutes already. So we're going to stop here, and in the next video we will take this variable and just put it on the gallery itself, and there do some scope formulas, some data manipulation, and then return just a date table. And a date table is having a date which we can show to the customer in every way we like. It will have a date int, so a number representation of the date, because I use that in my Power App. It kind of have a week number and a formula on that, and maybe some other things, I don't know. But at the end this will all be performed on the gallery itself without using any other variable than the one we already created. That's going to be a nice video also, so you see that you can do a lot of the things you want on the gallery itself without having collections or all kinds of things extra, which you basically don't need. Okay, thanks for watching. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next video for the connection to the gallery part. Thank you for watching. Bye.